Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Anna from Astro Lady Tarot. Today what I have for you is a tarot collection update. It's not going to be a video of all my decks, all the decks that I currently own. It is going to be a video of all the decks I got last year and what I think of them. Little disclaimer, I am feeling sick. I've been sick for for a while now. It just keeps, reoccurring. I just can't seem to find the time, which is such an adult thing to say, isn't it? To really take the rest that I need. I am trying though, but today I took the day off. I actually was going to do readings at the store, tarot readings, but I couldn't because my throat hurts too much. And here I was laying on the couch, actually fell asleep, and then I woke up and thought, I can't do nothing all day. This is not because I need to be productive every single day. It's just, I'm actually doing this because I need to make myself feel a little bit better. With all of that said, so now you know, okay, but don't worry, I'll be fine as always. Let's get into the decks I got last year. Also, I thrifted this chair the other day. My next door neighbor, so sweet, helped me, and by that I mean did it all by by himself. Helped me to bring it up to my apartment. It's in the same style as my couch, and I just couldn't leave it there. I'm really happy, and this is in my little tarot table slash altar nook in the home, and I used to film here, but I realize now why I kind of stopped, because the lighting is kind of awful with this Dutch weather. That just keeps changing the lights, so it's kind of not nice to film near windows in this country. Anyway, I am quite comfortable, so let's see. First deck. Oh no, wait. I first have something else to tell you. This is why I have notes. I said in the beginning of last year, 2022, that I was probably going to get more decks that year because, as you may know by now, I'm all about the having a small tarot collection or deck collection and culling decks when you don't use them or just don't feel like they add anything to you. I have a few exceptions though, and it's growing due to all of this stuff. But the reason I was allowing myself and felt like I wanted to play with more imagery in 2023 is because 2 years in a row I did a depth year. In 2021, I acquired quite a few decks and then culled them, meaning I only kept 4. And then last year, I only got 4, I believe. Don't get annoyed with me. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what works for me. Because honestly, even though I'm very happy, when people think of me, when they are culling decks or when they just want to send me a deck, I tend to accept. But I'm gonna need to cull some of these. I've actually already started. So the vast majority of the decks you're going to see now were gifts. And of course, I feel very lucky because of that. So thank you everybody who sent me a gift, tarot deck last year. But the way my brain functions, honestly, I'm not going to be able to keep all of them. As I said, the culling has already started, and I'll tell you which ones. The first deck that I got was from Manuela. It's the Secret Pocket Oracle, which she gifted me when we met up in Amsterdam. So this deck is perfect. It's intuitive, it's very small, it adds a lot actually to readings. There's always something to, there's always, it always, I was going to say trigger, but yeah, your mind always goes somewhere with these images. So it's really, really very well done, and I'm extremely happy to have this one. This is a perfect deck or a perfect gift rather, because it's something I love, but I was not going to get this for myself, you know? So, Manuela, thanks again. I really love it. It's perfect. Next few decks came in a gift form of 4 decks. I got the Diva Tarot, which is very funky. It's a huge deck because it has an extra suit. And any deck with an extra suit, so far, I realize, even though I want to work with it, I just don't. Because I'm like, well, then it's not a tarot deck. And what was the creator thinking, kind of thing. No, I'm being mean, but it's actually quite beautiful. I'm not sure if I love it. I mean by that, I'm not sure if I'll ever really love it. It's a beautiful gift, but it's just one of those things. It might not be for me. It makes me sad to say so, but yeah, that's what it is, you know? It doesn't really speak to me that much. One of the other decks I got in that pack is the Botanica Tarot, which also is very beautiful. But I don't know a lot, hardly anything about plants. And so even though, look at that, these images are nice and I appreciate the black background on each card, it actually doesn't speak to me. Now I'm sure for some creative folk, this deck, when you look at it and you know it's the Two of Cups, even without knowing which plant this is and what type of properties it has or what it means in a symbolic way, I'm sure it could speak to them still, the image itself, but no, not for me. I like it, but any other regular pip deck, not any other, but the ones I own, speak to me more than this one because of this aspect of, well, this is a beautiful image, and I guess I know what thorns and brambles mean, but what raspberries, or what is this, the blackberries, what that means in a symbolic way, or what their properties are, I don't know. So that creates a block where I don't understand the deck. Yeah, I'm sad to say, because these are very thoughtful gifts and beautiful gifts, but it's not for me. So other decks that came in this package, I always blank on this name. I'll just link it in the screen, but I gifted it to Kellyanne, actually, AnnMaddox, when we met up in Amsterdam. It was a lovely little meetup. You know, we had tea, coffee, a walk, and lots of talk. Not a lot of tarot talk, though, funnily enough, which we've mentioned, but I guess we just wanted to get to know each other before getting into all the tarot stuff, which we, I guess, know about each other more since we talk about that online. But that deck felt like her because of the pastel, because of the weird alien vibes, and it could have worked for me too, except for pastel. You're not going to give me pastel. Then also I gave her my second copy of Triomphe della Luna illustrated pips because, long story short, I just felt like that person needed to have a version of my favorite deck. And then I figured, hopefully I was right, that she was going to appreciate the illustrated version more than the version that I love, the Marseille version. So that's where that went. Because honestly, that was like my backup. And well, there you go. This is also a deck I got last year. I bought this with my own money and thought I was going to absolutely adore it, like the Marseille version. It's the paradoxical one here. So I immediately got a backup, which turns out was unnecessary because I just like to keep this one as a something cool, you know, that I have. But yeah, actually it turned out great. I was able to quickly gift something to, well, a new friend, really. Yeah, because I didn't have time to shop or anything, because we kind of just met up on the day itself. Which I also appreciate, this type of impulsivity. You know, when we can make it work, we do it. That's fun. Then the last deck that was in this pack was the Intuitive Tarot by Scylla Conway. I want to say I fell in love with that deck, but it turns out it was a crush. It was not even a crush, it was more like a wow, how amazing. And then I just did not get along with it. It was that type of person for me where I was, at first glance and the first conversation was so good, but then all the rest we figured out we just different people. So I gifted that, also telling her this was a gift that I received, so I was regifting a gift, but I guess that's okay in tarot deck world, to another new friend who I do talk a lot of. Tarot, astrology, yes, people, astrology. She read my chart. She teaches me things about astrology. She studies Western esotericism, which is still something that absolutely blows my mind. You can actually do that. She's writing a book, and we talk deity. It's so good. I enjoy that friend, and I'm very happy that she lives in Amsterdam. So we meet up a lot and talk a lot. I figured she needs a deck. She's not going to make it with just one or two decks. So Intuitive Tarot, and so far she loves it. I already talked about the Triomphe Illustrated that I got 2 copies of. Then this deck, which is a funny story. I did not buy this. I would not buy this because this is a fake, quite obviously. But the store I work at, or the store I do readings at, I don't work at the store, they also sell secondhand decks. Basically, when you show up there with your used deck that you no longer want, you get a coupon for the store, which I think is a very nice way to get rid of the decks you don't want, and then you still come home with something nice, like a crystal or a book or something. Unfortunately, this deck being fake, I think the person still received some form of a coupon, but maybe a little less or something. I didn't see who gave it to the store, but the deck being fake, it means it couldn't get sold either way. And so the girls who work there told me that there were some decks that they couldn't sell. So if I was interested in one, and I said, I wouldn't mind this one. Having said that, though, I just have it now, and I might use this as a fun way to learn about astrology, you know, full moon in Gemini, all that stuff. But I, I can't work with this. Next deck, ooh, this was amazing. Sent to me for review, and it made it to the top 5. This is the second one that I received with the better cardstock, or card finish rather. The first edition is at my partner's home. I love this. I love, 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 love this. And I know cardstock isn't what we're looking for. I know it chips easy. I know it is expensive, so I am in a very privileged position having received this deck, but the creator's super nice. I love what she did here. I just can't deny it. You know, I'm showing this deck on my channel because it's in my top 5, not because I got it for free. You know what I mean? Just being blunt at this point. Yeah, adore this, adore this. I say I would rather have this deck, spend however much it costs on this deck and the shipping, over having 4 other decks. I don't know, it's just quality over quantity. And again, I don't want to preach because I am in that privileged, weird position here. All I'm saying, Cherame, I adore this deck. I adore it. It reads beautifully, so beautifully. Okay, for a hot minute, and I think it was literally a minute. No, okay, it was a day. I got the Deviant Moon, yeah, by Patrick Valenza, who made my favorite deck, the Triomphe della Luna Paradoxical. And then I gifted it. I got rid of it. It's really the Triomphe della Luna art style that I like. Deviant Moon, just not my thing. What can I say? I know it's a deck that works well for a lot of people. It's just not mine. This other incredible package is the one with the hoi polloi, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to use for the opening act, meaning the one card reading for Patreon for April. This was a gift. I am super, super thankful because even though I kind of talk about all those Rider-Waite-Smith clones, making the Rider-Waite-Smith seem less deep, etc., and getting really bored or even annoyed with all of those clones coming out, this one is magical to me. Because I've been looking for this one for years on and off online, and every single time it was so far out of my budget. And now I have this pretty pristine first edition, just incredibly charming hoi polloi tarot deck. I feel like my Rider-Waite-Smith clone that's really close to Pamela Coleman Smith's artwork collection is complete now with this one. Because I have the Golden Rider, I have the Blue Box, Centennial, still my favorite. I guess Moroccan Fez kind of counts. Yeah. Very, 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 very thankful. I fell in love. There was also Tarot de Marrakech, and I want to make a video for this one. Although, oh my gosh, I'm being so difficult, and sometimes I also feel I'm being ungrateful or something. I'm not gonna keep. It's really cool, but it's for someone else, okay? There's a nice little story in the little white book, so that makes the deck even more interesting. This is another amazing deck by Renato Guttuso that I received. This is a work of art. It's not going to be to read with, pretty sure. But if you want to see the full deck and my ideas on it, and also in the description below that video, you can check out the video that's linked in the screen right now. Because it's an amazing deck. That, again, I did not pay for. So far, I only paid for the Triomphe della Luna illustrated, the two. All the other ones were gifts. What? This was also a gift. Ibis Tarot. Same thing. I opened this on camera, and I'm not keeping it. Might still be up for grabs. It's really beautiful and vintage and rare and out of print and all of that. But I just, yeah, it's beautiful, but it's not for me. One that is for me, though, which was a surprise, weirdly enough. This was also in the gift pack. Triomphe della Luna Paradoxical Purple, which again is a perfect gift for me because you know I like this art style and it already works, and this is quite wonderful to work with the deck. I want to show you pips. Oof. To work with the deck that I already know inside and out, yet giving me a new color way to work with. And it's funny because edging this in green, which is kind of like the accent color in this deck, makes it kind of like a alien type deck in a way. I feel at this point I almost kind of enjoy, it's true, I enjoy different versions of decks I already own more than new imagery. What is wrong with me? Do I only have like a maximum capacity of tarot imagery, in my brain? But I really, really like this. So I'm keeping this one. What I did get with my own money is 2 different carte napoletane. And this was during Tarot Throwback. And even though I can't read with these, so I have another deck that's newer than this one. I don't know what to do with that one, but it's kind of a collection thing for me. I know these are used in divination as well as in a game, maybe even different games. I know of Scopa. It's a nostalgia thing. I used to have these as a kid, in case you don't know the story. I used to think they were tarot cards because they looked so different than the playing cards we had here and that I knew from Holland and France. And so I played pretend tarot readings, or were they pretend? I did tarot readings with these at the age of 10, and I was playing alone in the attic of our old home. Nostalgia. I really hope I'm not forgetting any decks, but 2 more to go. So, this is another one that I got for myself. This is so incredibly ugly and weird, but this is my Ancient Mysteries Tarot deck, and it's my Graham Hancock. The stones are old, and the earth is old, and ancient civilizations were incredibly advanced tarot deck. I really like this vibe. This is a word I try to not say, but sometimes you just can't escape it, I guess. Yeah. I don't really know what's wrong with me, why I would keep this deck over, many of the other ones that I showed you. I know I keep saying I'm not going to keep any of these. There's the guilt, not of keeping, the guilt of culling, something that was gifted to me with all the love and consideration. It's taking up too much space, all the little voices. Even though all of that is very real and very true, I feel a little overwhelmed with everything at the moment, which is also why I'm sick. So I'm not gonna actively sell them at this point or gift them. If you want any of these that I actually mentioned I might want to part with, just let me know. And not in DMs. Sorry, that sounded very stern, but no DMs, please, because they drive me nuts. I can't keep up with them. Thank you all for caring so much, but don't send me any DMs. I was gonna make a whole video explaining this, but it's not fun enough, We have to have a little bit of fun on TarotTube here. I lied. Not 2 decks, 3 decks. So this is the second to last deck. I had the Hieronymus Bosch Tarot. If you want to see it, it's in one of these videos. I was going to do what to do with Hieronymus Bosch Tarot. Bosch is an amazing artist. I'm not sure about repurposed art though, repurposed art decks, but this one, yeah, very special. Until I saw that Danny Mystic over here on TarotTube was doing a tarot cull. I couldn't help myself, I just had to check it out, and there was one of the decks that I've been lusting after for at least 2 years now, and same thing with polloi, nowhere near my budget. I found it maybe once within my budget, but then I waited too long and it was sold. Might have been that actual copy though. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you which deck it is now. If you want to guess in the comments, please do. That will be the game this week. Anyway, I decided to take my chance and send her a message and ask if she wanted to swap that deck for any of these decks that I was willing to, you know, swap, figured would have the same value or something. And she said yes to the Bosch Tarot. So that deck is on its way to her, and the other deck is on the way to me. And I love this swap because we're swapping weird decks. Trust me. Probably next video is going to be the unboxing of that deck, first impression. And of course, it's a vintage deck. What are you going to do? So I'm going to shock you all with my last deck. Don't yell at me, but so far I don't love it. It's an untouched first edition. The cards are much bigger than I thought. And yes, it's beautiful, but it's Mary L's system. You know what I mean? And yes, it's very deep, but what am I reading here? I'm not reading a mix of Toth, Rider-Waite-Smith, Marseille. I'm reading Mary L's system, which might be why I'm not into it. I'm not getting rid of this. Maybe in freaking 30 years I'll finally be ready to read with this, because I know there's a lot of wisdom. Yeah, this is one of those exceptions. One thing that bothers me, if I may speak so freely on my own channel, is this does not look like a tarot deck to me. There's no way to distinguish majors from minors and quartz. It's just all paintings where sometimes you get, okay, that's the lovers, fine. Okay, fine, a phoenix for the judgment. What is this? 10 of Cups. Well, looking at it, maybe, but it also could have been death. Or in some strange decks, the Fool. 5 of Cups, a unicorn, pear tree, fig tree, waterfall, a well, 3 streams of water. Yeah. Also, one of the reasons I'm not into this deck yet is because there's a little too much on the cards. It's just how I feel so far, and I might change my mind, it's very possible, but it's not the artwork that I usually go for. But most of these cards actually look like they were just doodles, like, you know, just lines crisscrossed on a paper, and then from there you start to highlight what you see in those lines. So it's a way of sigil work, but it's also something that we do in primary school. And I wish I didn't see that in the cards, at least at this point. Also, all of the nudity, meh. I don't like to think I'm a prude, but also I like to think I kind of know what I like to see in cards. And okay, some cards are gorgeous, right? I just don't know what to make of it. I heard this deck being described as a witch in the woods, so I like that. But I don't know if I see it in every card. This deck doesn't feel very cohesive. Okay, this was a weird ending to a video that was supposed to be all fun and stuff, but I can't help myself. This is a deck that so many people love. I'm keeping this for now because I'm afraid to make a mistake by getting rid of this one for some unknown reason. So, sometimes you just have to trust your gut. Do I have a conclusion for this video? The conclusion is they are all good decks, but they are for someone else. They are not for me. And that's just all it is. Okay? So, a little reminder before I go, comment your answer of the question I asked earlier in the video. And thank you so much for being here. I will see you all next week. Hopefully I'll be able to keep up with this uploading schedule that I have, because Again, the sickness is not a lot of fun, but this video did make me feel better, at least mentally, not physically. No. It's okay though. Thanks so much for being here. Bye.